Hello, everyone. Welcome to BizChicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. We want to
Yes.
give a shout out to my colleague, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva. I'm Terralina from California Cover Ups, and we are the Biz Chicks. And today we are here with our money mindset coach, Coach Caen Fern, all the way from Toronto, Canada.
There's snow on the ground, guys. There's snow on the ground.
Your autographs. And she wants you to know how to bring profits in daily. So let's get this party started. How
All
you doing
right.
today, Coach?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm excited on Wednesdays too to come present, guys. I really appreciate the BizChicks allowing me to come and present, and I hope you guys get a lot of work out of what I bring to the table.
That is so true. You bring a
So,
lot to the table.
without any further ado, we're talking about not losing hope because 2 weeks before I talked about why growing our income, it feels impossible and sometimes it makes you want to not do. And let me be clear, most entrepreneurs have had a business, squash the business, lose the business, money got stolen out of their businesses, and they might have just said, I enough, I'm not doing this anymore. But the bug is in us and
Mhm.
we'll come back around. So I want you to know, if any one of that has happened to you, don't lose hope. Okay,
Hey.
lose hope. This is stuff that happens. One of my first big business, when I say big, I mean I had my little business. It was growing, titi tata, doing really well. And a neighbor, we get to talking, and she was having a hard time, and I brought her on to help her out because she was a single
Mhm.
mom at the time. And lo and behold, within months, when she see how great it was, she stole the business, at least that part of the business. That was the wholesale sector. We had a bunch of establishment that took our product wholesale.
Okay.
And so she went to them and said, we no longer in business, but she's in business. And so everything went to her. The funny thing about people stealing your stuff, and I want you to hear me loud and clear, don't worry, don't panic. God sees everything. You don't have to do anything. She came to me, she says, they're not taking our product anymore because it's taking a long time to be sold. I said to her, I say, how is that? I mean, I've got three other shops that I can't keep up.
Mm.
We got a good product, but she met me in the business. So the business, our deal was, she don't have to sink money in, but what she has to do is go out and get the stores. But I willing to share half of the profit with her, because I could have shared less, but I wanted to give her half. I wanted to slowly bring her in and teach her about the business.
Mhm.
And so I did all the manual labor. She went and do that sales section. And I thought we were good. I thought I was doing a good thing. And I was. I'm not going to take that back. I was. I did a good deed. And I had my suspicion. But she had somebody that comes in and watch the kids. And the lady and I also talk really well. And she said to me, she said, Karen, I got something to tell you. I don't know how to tell you, but I got to tell you, you're a good person. Like, I got to tell you. And I said, what is it? What is it? I said, if it's going to get you in trouble, don't bother about it. She goes, no, you need to know. And
Mm.
she sat me down. She came early the morning before she got into work, and she told me, I mean, Terry, I couldn't get up.
I believe you.
I couldn't get up because this is somebody who was saying to me, I don't know how I'm going to pay my mortgage. Um, you know,
Someone that you
things
had
happening.
someone that you had compassion on.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, you can't take the kids out of, piano practice or the other one in guitar. You can't like not pay your mortgage. I'm like, we can fix this. Like, I know how to help you fix this. And then to hear not one, but three shops she took from me at the time. And these were big accounts too, by the way. And I tell you, as I just said, I had to sit down. I couldn't believe it. I wanted to confront her. I wanted to not tell her anything. I wanted, so many feelings were happening at the same time. And I,
Yes.
I decided, she had a cousin, and I spoke to the cousin about it. And the cousin said to me, I would tell her. I said, I'm not going to, I have to figure out how I'm going to say this to her. But by then, she'd start losing business because she couldn't produce such a quality product as mine. And so it started going to the wayside because sometimes people come in and think they get everything from you, and they realize it took years to build to this point.
There are some things when you are running a business, coach, there's some things that you do innately. They're just
Yes.
built in. You do
Yeah.
it because it's in your nature. And if you were explaining something to someone, you'd probably skip that step because you
Yes.
think it's a given.
Right. Right.
I
Right.
like always do a quality product
Like,
because it's who we are.
yeah.
Okay. And we want what for our customer, what we want for ourselves. But other people are looking at, if I save 2 cents, then that adds to the bottom line versus repeat customers or happy customers,
Yes.
or the satisfaction that it gives us to know
Yes.
that we've delivered something really good.
Really good, right?
So you can't build that in.
No, it takes time. It takes time. And so the question I got here right away is, what should we do when this stuff happens? When
That
anything like that happens, guys, like, take a seat. Don't rush into telling the person off, or don't say the first thing that come to mind.
I love that. I'm going to take a seat and let you say that again.
Take a seat. Let it sink in. Think about what you truly want to say. Write it out if possible. Go for a walk. Drink some water. Don't get into, because you're going to say some nasty things, because that's all that's inside of you. Because
Hmm.
especially if you've been doing this for a long time and somebody's taking away part of your bread, okay? Um, just take a while, take a minute, because you can't take back those things that you're going to say. And
Well said.
well, and unfortunately, it really comes back to how somebody feel about money that causes them to do these sort of things.
Yes.
You see, when you understand that it's like any other game, any other tool, anything you do that's long term, you realize that you don't need to steal to get. You would eventually get so much. It'll be so overflowing. You don't have to do anything. You know,
Yes.
you'll be rewarded tenfold. And so you don't need to do that. You come in, you learn, you can improvise and do better than the person that's teaching you, but don't steal from them. It never ends well. It
It
never
does
ends
not.
well.
And I don't know how people sleep at night.
Girl, girl, how do they? How?
I don't know how they do it.
And the next question is, what do we do next? Like, what's next? As I give a little bit of what you do next, but what do you do next with yourself? Because
Uh-huh.
you start asking yourself these questions. Am I stupid? Why didn't I notice? Why didn't I see? How could I invite this person into my life? Like, or how could I allow them to see when it's coming to stealing money? I'd had that happen to me also. Or, just so many different things. Or people just do bad things that affects you, and you
Mhm.
learn later on, and it's only because we let them in. That's why they get a chance to do it. And that's why you see a lot of people will tell you things that they can do, or they wouldn't tell you fully because maybe they've been burned and haven't understand what comes next.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, coach, I think this is true not just in business, but in all relationships.
Yes.
We,
Yes.
but can we go through life not trusting anybody? You know what I mean? See,
That would be a
we
hard life, Terry, wouldn't it?
it would, and I like the fact that you're saying, don't let it keep you from building other relationships,
Yes. Yes.
because it'll make you a terrible business person. You
Exactly.
won't trust your
Exactly.
vendors, you
Hmm.
won't trust your customers, you
Yes.
won't trust your employees. You gotta trust somebody.
You gotta. You got to keep going, and you have to give other people, you're going to be watchful now, things to watch out for, but
Hmm.
you're still going to be open enough to still grow. And I tell you, I'm glad that I learned that lesson really quick, because the minute I learn it, and that's the thing, beautiful thing about God, the minute you learn your lesson, he just opened more doors and point you now in the right direction. And
Yes.
she watched me business just blew up like crazy.
Hmm.
She didn't know that I know, so she'd come and say to me at different times, I tell you, doors closed and you just opening so many doors. I remember she saying that to me a day, because we hadn't had, by that time, we haven't even spoken about it yet. But I've gotten
Hmm.
some new businesses that came my way. People taste my product. More doors got open for me. And I was so busy. I ended up hiring two people. I had my sister, my niece, and their friends. So now I had like about six people working for me. And she was at the point saying, wow, And a couple of times, I think she wanted to tell me because she says to me, she said, I got something to tell you, but we never got around to it.
Mm.
But it did come to a heat because what do you hear this, Terry? We had a family member that lived in the States for years, my dad's side, a cousin, an older
Mhm.
cousin. And she came to see the same young woman. And when she saw me, she said, we were talking and I telling her about my dad and stuff. I can't, oh, my friend wasn't, and by the way, guys, I didn't stop being friends with her. I did not stop being friends with her. I just knew where we friendship stop and start and how far I wasn't gonna let her in.
Mhm.
She still needed certain things that I was able to give. The kids, she wasn't able to be home at times before the lady leaves, and they were still young kids. And I said yes for them to come stay with me and my son. And they were kids, they had nothing to do with it. And I
Yes.
didn't want to just shut them out because they already had a good time with me. Their homework is getting done, and I really had loved the kids. You know, they call me Auntie Karen, and it was a good relationship, and they had nothing to do with it. And I didn't.
Exactly.
I knew if I did that, they would lose that, and I just couldn't. And when people hurt you, it's hard. That's why I say you want to pause and not speak right away, because all those things were really bubbling up. You know.
Mhm. I
So
can imagine.
so she wasn't there, and the lady stopped by, and we ended up talking, and she says, "Well, I never." And I thought, what? She goes, yes. Milton? That's my cousin. So we were relating, but we never knew. But this is the
Mm.
best, but we never knew.
Wow. Good morning, Dr. Tachi.
Good morning. So we never knew. Well, I didn't know, and she didn't know. But when she found out, I tell you, within 2 days, she confessed. She went crying. She was so apologetic. The lady made her apologize because she ended up telling, you know,
Telling the vendor also.
no, yeah, she made her. Well, I wasn't going to, but the elder cousin made her go and apologize and tell them what she did. She was not having it. She was not having it. She
And
said,
it was good for both of you
mhm. She
because
made
she got a
us,
chance to,
yes,
reconcile.
yes, yes.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so when I tell you guys things about money, money makes people do all sort of things. She's like,
It
Karen,
does,
when
doesn't
I
it?
realized how much money you were making, I felt so jealous. And I'm like, if you're making this from the vendors, I'm like, but you get 50% of the profits.
Exactly.
I could just imagine you have others. And I was thinking, if I get these three and you've got others, I was like, we could have had a conversation about this. We could have bring on more vendors. Do you understand? This was not limited to six people, six establishment. This was
Yeah,
not limited to you limit yourself for the growth that this business could have grown to and what else. And so I have so much other skills that I could have offered you that you were lacking, that you missed out on. I said,
exactly.
and I love you, but there's no way I'm going to bring you back in my kitchen. I told her straight up, I said, I'm not bringing you back in my kitchen. We'll keep the friendship,
Wow.
but you can't come back in my kitchen because you haven't understand money. We had a long conversation about that. I said, money is a big problem for you. And so when it gets bigger, we can have bigger problems. You need to fix that.
Mhm.
You really need to fix
Bec-
that.
Because the way you do one thing is the way you do
Hmm.
everything.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
Hmm.
So if you're dishonest about this, what else are you dishonest about? What are you dishonest about to yourself?
Yeah,
You know,
those are the
because
hard conversations we had ongoing with her. Like, I
yeah,
mean, I was
because
glad that she wanted you.
you've convinced yourself that this is okay and you
Mhm.
sleep at night. Or do
Yes,
you really? You know,
right.
a lot of people who are not doing the right thing are medicating themselves
It's true. I never.
so
Yeah,
that they can get through it.
true, true. Oh my gosh, so true, so true.
Mm.
So that's why so don't lose hope, guys. And friendships come on so many different levels. So you mightn't be able to maintain the level you were at before, but you can get a different level, a different understanding. Plus, both of us get to grow into a better person,
Mhm.
better human being. And I'd seen this since in school because I told you guys I started business and selling since I was in primary school, right through high school. And I'd seen people who laugh at me, did all sorts of things to me, turn around before I graduate and say, I admire you.
Mm.
Never let
Mhm.
us stop you, So It's good to hear then, but at the time it wasn't good to hear or feel or be in that position. And so
Mm-hmm.
I want you to know that I know if you're in business or you want to start a business or you're anywhere in between and it's hard, I understand. Business is hard work. All work is hard work, by the way, guys, no matter what you're doing. It's a little bit that we do. I want to also pause and say this. When you want to build something great, it's going to take you years. It's
Mm-hmm.
not days, years. So you have to understand that while you're building these little tiny moments that's going to turn into minutes and hours and into days, it's going to serve you for so long to come. So
Mm-hmm.
anything that you're planning to do, and that's why I like to talk about planning in October. If you give yourself October, November, and December to truly plan your year ahead, you can't lose the following year. I promise you, there's no January, I'm going to do this and that. You can't lose because you've looked into all the different areas in your life and you're like, hey, I want to learn to swim. I want to learn to crochet. I want to learn to dance, whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
Because it makes me good and happy and joyous. And when I'm feeling this way, I can create anything.
That
Go
is so
find that
true.
goal. Go
And it
find that
improves
vision.
your energy level, does it not?
Yeah. You're excited to do even the hard parts because the hard part is going to come. They're
Mm-hmm.
not going anywhere. They're going to come. They're going to be there. They're there to drive you, to move you. This morning, I was telling my sisters, I said, everything that comes to you to serve you as a lesson, we hate the most. We do not
Mm-hmm.
want it because it is so tough when it comes. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you feel like you're juggling so many balls that you don't have enough hands, fingers, and toes to catch them.
Yes.
Our Father knows why He's allowing you this because He wants you to get strategy. He wants you to come up to where He's pushing you to where He's carrying you. He see that you've gotten comfortable, you don't want to do anything anymore, and you don't notice. So He's like, okay, let's shake things up. And here we go.
Oh my goodness, God is
There
good.
we go. There we go. Right?
God is
You
good.
need time. Give yourself the opportunity and the time you need. If something needs 12 months and you finish in 10, you winning. But give yourself the 12 months. Stop trying to do it in 6 and 3 months. It's a big project. Give it the 12 months
Mm-hmm.
because there's things you're going to be able to do in 2 months, in a month time. If you're building, if you're painting this office, you don't need 3 months to paint it, but you probably need a month to decide where furniture is going to go, what colors you're
Oh,
going to pick, what kind of scenery you want, how you want to feel when you get into the office. And when you
mm.
get all those things ready, by
Do
the
we
time
really take time to think about all those
we
things?
don't, we're like, I like pink, I like red, this color look good, and we pop it in there, and then we're miserable in the office and we want to get out of the office.
Here's a comment from Carlos. He says, my
My brother.
project, I gave 10 years and now it's moving forward. Yeah, you don't build an empire overnight, Carlos. Congratulations on your outcomes. Wow.
And it just makes sense. I was telling
Mm-hmm.
a friend the other day something her daughter put, and I said, oh, something I wanted so badly took 21 years. She goes, 21 years? I don't know that I would wait for 21 years. Here's what happened in the 21 years. God kept me in the place that I need to build some solid skills so that when the time was right, that's when I get to come to the place I wanted to come to, which is Canada. In Guyana, I get to build the most important skill. I get all the toughness, all the tough mind and body and soul. I mean, every part, emotional, financial, all those stability, all those things that needed time to
Mm-hmm.
cultivate. I got that. I learned to be alone. I learned to not have friends. I learned to have a lot of friendships. I learned to grow friendship. I learned to let people go. I learned all these different great skills. And when I got to Canada and I was lonely as ever, I knew how to handle it. I was still lonely, but I knew how to handle it.
Mm-hmm.
I knew how to move. I knew how to make friendships. I knew
Yes.
how to take nothing and turn it into something. I needed my 21 years. Leave me alone. It taught me money in that 21 years. It taught me how to teach other people in that 21 years.
Wow.
I learned so many things, but I didn't know at the time, mind you, those lessons were being taught to me, but they were
Exactly.
happening. And so don't worry about the internet and all this 2 weeks, 10 days, 24 hours, 48 hours nonsense. These people's been doing things for a very long time, and now this 48 hours you're watching happen.
Yes,
That's it.
exactly.
That's it.
Some, something was planted a long time ago, and now all you see is the flower. But, but you didn't realize it took 15 years to get that shoot up out of the ground for that particular tree. Yeah.
My dad told me when he was designing a Pacific pair of shoe I'd really like. He used to be a shoe designer, leather,
Hmm.
soft leather, and I just love the shoes. And he told me, Karen, it took me a year. I said, a year for the shoes? Because of course I was in my 20s. I was like, a whole year? Come on, you could have done.
Girl, wisdom is the principal thing. Go ahead.
Let me tell you. But that business was served him well. He couldn't keep any of his designs on the shelf. He
I
used to
believe that.
the comfort, the softness of the leather. You feel like you're walking on air. His shoes were well built. He said designing and finding a good shoe maker that handles and understand quality, because even though I mean now shoes are expensive, but the kind of shoes I remember when I saw he had this little tiny sandal for like 220, and it was in the
Mhm.
90s. I was like, that's expensive, Dad. Nobody's gonna buy it. He goes, it's already sold out.
Exactly. I remember we used to go to a shoemaker for our sandals, and we paid a good penny for those custom made sandals.
His shoes never.
And
So
he always told us, you're gonna have to wait. I won't have this ready until such and such a time. We paid in advance. Hmm.
and
Yeah.
look, I bought shoes for more than $400. So I don't know what I was yapping about, but I at the time, of course, I couldn't see it.
You hadn't at the time. You hadn't,
I couldn't see it. I couldn't see it. Right. So
because people will pay for quality.
mhm,
That's
so they've
something else
bought, yeah,
that
and
you
they'll keep coming
learned.
back once they know that they've had a good fit and this has happened, and they know they can trust this designer. This is the brand they love. They know when to
Yes.
wear the shoes. They can stand
Mhm.
long in it. It's good for their back. There's so many things about shoes that I learned over time that I was amazed at because I didn't know.
You know, I worked for a company, and their motto was, "Quality never goes out of style."
Never, never, ever, never, ever, never, ever. And so
Mhm.
now, before we close, we talk about how to move forward. Like all this stuff has happened to you, and you're
Uh-huh.
feeling like a failure. You feel like you can't win. Sometimes you need a breath. Sometimes you need to go get a job so that it can snap you back into seeing what you
Mhm.
don't want to do. Because most entrepreneurs don't want a job, but sometimes you need to go get one so you
Mhm.
can see what's happening in other people's company. Because I promise you, every time you think you're doing so terrible, go into somebody else's company and you see not the fluff, all the behind the scenes craziness that's happening, and they're still moving forward in
Mhm.
spite of what's going on. They're feeling whatever. I know business owners who is crying daily in their businesses, business owners who saying, I can't do anymore. And once they pause and understand that, hey, my dad was a correctional officer, a superintendent. So his job had a lot of responsibilities, but he decided 2 hours a night, he's going to sketch.
Mhm.
2 hours a night, he's going to sketch. He's going to send it off to the manufacturer, and they're going to talk about it 2 hours a night. And so at the end of each 2 weeks, stuff gets sent away and it comes back. It doesn't fit this way. It doesn't shape this way. And he and them would be back and forth, he told me. And over time, then they found their dance.
I love it.
And then they start moving and grooving, and right away they'll know colors wouldn't work here, this shape wouldn't work, because now they found their groove. And that's what happens, guys. You might fall off and things might feel really terrible. Take a step back, take a job. If you got no money, don't be hanging around saying I hope, I hope, I hope. Go get a job, make some money, clear that cobweb away. Okay, get that going.
Mhm.
Okay, and then go to the library. I know everything is online, but you can still go sit in there. There's something about going to the libraries.
There is.
There's this different atmosphere that happened. I send people there a lot, and they're like, "Oh, I could do it online." I said, "Go sit in a library, especially in Canada. Here, those libraries, and you guys probably have it too. Those kind of libraries where you can't really borrow any books to go out. It's just resources that you can go in there and do. The law
Okay.
library. I know you
Oh,
have
I see what you mean. Yes.
university library. I know you have to have a card, but if you're an alumni, if you had a degree at any kind of higher education and you got the alumni status, you can go and you can tell them show your ID and they'll let you in. You're not bringing any
Mhm.
books out. You just go in there for stuff you can't get out of it.
Research.
Mhm.
Hmm.
You go in there and you sit down, you talk to the librarian, you get some resources. It's going to change the way you're seeing yourself and what you're doing, what's happening. The world is not coming for you. Things are happening in the world, but nothing is coming for you. This is just a speck in the moment. If you were trying to become a millionaire, when you hit that number, nobody knows. Nobody knows, only you until you tell somebody. So you're excited, happy, joyous, and the world is still going by and nobody knows. Just like when bad things happen to you, nobody
Hmm.
knows, only the people who do you tell or your immediate family, whatever is happening.
Hmm. Dr. Tachi says the Library of Congress in D.C., Washington, D.C. is like that.
Yes.
It's a research library. Okay.
Yeah. It's just this feeling. Like the first time I went into one downtown too, I was like, whoa. Whoa. But I like learning too. I like school. So if you're not a school person, you probably might be like Kyle, leave me alone. But I do like learning.
But you
But
know
it's just this
something? A,
feel.
a research library is the best place, ladies, to find a husband. Go to the Library of Engineering, go to the Library of Medical Research. You know, they have these libraries on campus. Go to the law library. I don't care if you're reading a comic book. Just hang out.
It changes you. It
It
just
does.
changes you. And so all the bad things that's happening and you're thinking, oh my God, nobody knows but you. Get out of your head. Get outside.
I
Do
love it.
something. Bake a crappy cake, especially if you can't bake a cake. Bake a cake, follow a recipe, and if it doesn't come out well, have a good, hefty laugh at yourself. Okay?
There you go.
That's just like what happened with the business. It didn't come out good, but there's so many other tools. There's so many things to learn.
Yes, I recommend that you do not get distracted by missteps or or unfortunate
Hmm.
circumstances.
Yep.
Uh, what do you call? Oh, disappointment. That's the word I'm looking for. Don't lose hope because you've been disappointed
Yes.
on an occasion.
Yes. And we take disappointment sometimes way too far. It's
We
just
throw the baby out with the bathwater. It's like
hold
I'm
on to
done.
the kid and throw away the bad water. Hold on to the kid.
You know
Hold
what I'm
on to
saying?
your business. Businesses need breaks. Also, that's something I'm going to talk about next month. Businesses need breaks. Sometimes you need to break away to see. Break. Don't wait for breaks because it happened to you. You take your break.
Hmm.
Don't wait on it. I was selling so many things at one point that I had to break my business and just sit back and ask myself, what do I really want and what do I really want to focus on? I love everything, but what do I really want to focus on? And I had to get rid of things. This here in Canada and in Guyana, I had to get rid of things that I loved it. My customers love it, but it was taking too much time for the bottom line. It wasn't serving our business. It was holding us back from the things that really was pushing our business forward. The things that people tell me they want that they were paying for, I couldn't keep it. Like, I mean, it was sold out like that. And those are the things I said, okay, so if I narrow it down, I could actually get this done. I could, and you'll see things start opening up to you. You'd be amazed when you take that break. And by the way, people will say to me, "Karen, can't take my break. My business is not making money." What are you doing when you make money in your business so that your business have no money?
Hmm.
You better be doing some things in your business. I promise you, you need to do that. So if you need a month break, some people need a whole quarter off to just figure themselves out where they need to go. And the day that you take a year off your business, a year, yes, you heard me, a whole full 12 months. Get your business going so you can have a manager, a general manager, somebody that runs it a whole year off. Just like I talk about a whole year budget ahead of time. Ooh, such a good thing. It's such a good thing. That don't mean you can't pop in, see what's going on and what have you, but you're not into the day to day. That's what I mean. Like you're not in the day, like you're not out in fires. If
Hmm.
three people quit tomorrow, you're not dying. The manager will look after it. She'll step in, she'll hire temporary help, she'll get it handled, and then she'll inform you the steps she took.
I love it. Empower some people in your business.
Yes, yes. But that's because you're doing all this stuff, that stuff that you're chipping along doing. So don't lose hope. Everybody's got their things that has happened to them, and more things will happen. The first day I said to myself, I lost this chunk of money. And then with that, I'm gonna lose more money. Okay. What do I do with it? I'm a gal, and if you're not like that, I understand, but you might want to start chipping that way. If this happened to me, how do I react? And how do I move from here? Because that's what we talk about. What happens
Mhm.
immediately, what comes next, and how do I move forward?
Wow. Oh my goodness, guys. If you have not downloaded this video for later, you need to do that and share it with a friend, because this is not just about how to overcome disappointment in business. This is just about how to overcome disappointment. Um, and it's just so important so that you can stay healthy mentally
Mhm,
and
mhm.
move on. Coach, that's why they call you the money mindset coach, because you work on you're working on our mindset, and we are so grateful.
Yep.
We just want to remind everybody that if you're looking for Coach Karen, you can find her at Profits in Daily. Oh my goodness, over there on the internet machine. Wow. Coach, we just want to thank you
You're
for
welcome.
your faithfulness. This is Coach Karen Fern, all the way from Toronto, Canada. You can also uh, make an appointment right here. Make an appointment with Coach Karen, because you probably, if you're like me, you probably need a doctor. Okay. Oh my goodness. Also, Coach Karen has a course that she would like to share with you. And we're going to show that link also. Guys, we just, I'm telling you, you need a one-on-one with Coach Karen. Because she just helped us figure out some stuff that would have took us a couple of years of therapy. Okay. Thank you so much, Coach.
Oh, you're welcome.
We really do appreciate you. We appreciate your wisdom and all that you bring to the table every week. So remember, that is Coach Karen Fern at Profits in Daily. All right. Um, I'm still basking in the wisdom that was shared today. Okay, so here we go. If you want to become a part of BizChicks, we'd love for you to be a part of our community. You can simply text biz to 33777, or you can find us over on our website at bizchicks.net. And if you're looking for Coach, remember she can be found at Profits in Daily with
Mhm,
Coach
mhm.
Karen Fern. Join her Facebook group. Check out her Instagram. Hey, it's all good. We love you, Coach. We
Yep.
thank you for your time and your wisdom. And we want to remind everybody it's okay to make money in your business. So go to the front of your own line. Have
Yep.
a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. We'll be talking with Robin Shimizu and friends about happy, healthy habits. And I do believe Jill Weston will be with us. You know, we
Ooh,
haven't heard from Jill in a
in a
while.
while, yeah.
Mhm. So we are looking forward to that. Bye bye, everyone. Thanks again,
Right.
Coach.
You're welcome.